Hello and welcome. My name is Andrew Stretch. I am the Senior Content Manager at TechRaptor.net, and with me today I have Zach Lim Eubank, the founder of HyperRPG and the Game Master or the Driver for Collock. We're also joined by Bella, who you may know from Twitch as YellowSpoonGirl. In this latest season of Collock, Bella will be playing one of the passengers on the journey. Zach, tell us a little bit, what is Collock for those who may not be aware?
It is an experimental interactive live play. If it's easier to understand, we can say TTRPG, but I think if you go into watching it as a TTRPG, you might have the wrong expectations. It's more similar to, I think, live theater. We deal a lot with psychological horror and improvisational drama to try to create a very spooky and interactive tale that involves audience participation.
Tell us a bit of the background of HyperRPG and their involvement in the landscape that has become, live plays and online TTRPG streaming.
I started up Geek and Sundry's live network back in 2014 or 2015 now. It feels like forever. I don't remember the exact dates, and I launched Critical Role, brought that to air, and in that process, we started working a lot on what excited us most, which was interactive storytelling. I wanted a little more freedom to experiment in this kind of realm, so I teamed up with Jordan Weissman, who is the creator of things like HeroClix and Shadowrun and BattleTech and stuff like that, and we launched HyperRPG with the main idea of really thinking about interactivity as a form of narrative storytelling and how to create really interesting stories with audience involvement. Since then, we've brought Power Rangers to Twitch and did the first official Power Rangers live play that is canon within the Power Rangers universe. We did a show for Valiant Comic Books that was an in-canon Valiant Comic Books TTRPG live play that directly tied into their upcoming comic book releases, and the characters that we had in our show are built with the back-end team of Valiant and Eric Heiserer, which was really, really cool. And we just are kind of always looking for ways to take this format of live play and think about, where can it go? How do we get it kind of in the eyes of people who enjoy television and make them realize there's this other world of storytelling here where it's not like you're just watching your favorite TV show, you're interacting with it and you're able to directly influence your favorite characters' actions and places they might go and danger that they might meet and protect them from danger as well. If you really, really love those characters, want to make sure they don't get hurt, you can help influence the story in that way. And so that's always our goal, is just to make you as an audience member feel important and feel like you're a part of the world that we're telling stories in.
Tell me a little bit more for that viewer, for who's going to be interested in watching this new season of Collock. What does that interactivity look like for a home viewer?
So we've set up our own kind of app. You can go to hyperrpg.com/Collock. You'll be able to link your Twitch account and your Discord account and create a unique character that has stats that exists in this world and is one of the Ascended members, like Bella's character, one of humanity's last children, born on November 12th, 1991. And you get to role play within that world with fellow viewers, and while we're traveling that world, we'll bring those characters into the show.
With Bella playing Sid, a new character, can you tell us a little bit about what we should expect from this character coming into it?
So her parents were in the rebellion as well, which means that they were kind of higher ups, and being their daughter, they made me do a lot of spy missions. So my character is a spy, and even when she was really young, she was doing all these missions that were actually really fucked up and traumatizing. So things happen later down the line. She also has an eye that was slashed in the past, and there's some cool stuff about it that will come out that I don't want to say more of, but there's some stuff with that as well.
Yeah.
So expect cool, funky powers coming out of Sid at a moment's notice.
Yeah, I think
she's a hard ass for sure.
Something that's really fun for me, I think having been running tables for this long and running shows in this world for this long, we're always trying to think of ways of what's the kind of meta of a TTRPG, and how do we twist it just a little bit to make it more exciting for us? Because if it's exciting for us, it's probably exciting for the viewers too. Because people who watch these shows watch a lot of them, and you go through certain repetitive things. So instead of having a group that they all meet at a tavern and they come together and they go out on a journey, instead we're meeting a group who were all kind of child soldiers together and went through years of trauma together, and in a weird, unique way are being pulled back together, and they have to ask these questions of, do I even like these people? Do I want to be a part of this? Do I want to go on this journey? Why am I going on this journey? And bringing the history, not that's like outside of each other, but the history is each other itself. So we get to explore as an audience as players how we deal with that traumatic history that each of them went through together and have been distant from for many years.
So we'll definitely see some ripped bandages and some
that's
rediscovering of hidden trauma.
Yeah, lots of that. I mean, that's kind of Kollok to a T. It's just exploring trauma, and this season especially. I mean, we had to stop season 2 abruptly because of the pandemic, and rather than come back and just do a season 3, when I started talking to the original cast members, who is considered our legacy in this show, we decided we didn't want to come back and do a season 3. It was more, let's just kind of relaunch the show. We have a perfect opportunity in story that ties directly into it's kind of it's almost like season 1 and 2. Kollok 1991 was its own show. Now Kollok, set in real time present, is its own show, but it's built off of the past of the other one. And we kind of wanted to do that because we knew that we couldn't come back and just pretend like 2020 didn't happen. I mean, we were all pretty traumatized by 2020, and coming back and just acting as if like, okay, continue the story, didn't feel honest in the way that Kollok works, since it's always an exploration kind of what we're going through and how we're dealing with it. So we wanted to set up some new stakes and deal directly with what it's like to live through trauma at different ages, and that kind of generational trauma, and how we have a group who was born into this world, literally raised within it, and another who were all 18 to 19 years old when all this trauma happened, and how now are they different because of it.
Going back to the story a bit, how much will people need to know the original 2 seasons of Kollok versus hopping into this new season?
If I'm doing my job right, none.
Okay.
The idea is, since we're going to AMC FearHQ, we want new people to be able to join and be like, what is this? And what I like stories where I'm just presented with them. I love weird manga. It's much better at just presenting you with the world and being like, you'll figure it out in issue 100. You know, like, just keep going. Eventually you'll have answers to these things, but that's not why you're here. You're here for the story, not. And as Western cultures, I think we're really like, we want to know everything. We want to know, like, well, why? And then that, if it doesn't work, it's a plot hole. That doesn't interest me as much. And so that's why we make it a mystery show instead of a plot hole. It's just, you just aren't privy to that information.
Right, it hasn't been filled in yet.
It hasn't been filled in yet, and I haven't thought of the answer yet.
Has the cast kind of had a meet and greet so far? Bella, maybe, are there like specific cast members that you're like really looking forward to working across from, or you maybe even think that your character and their character might have differing opinions or some kind of a schism?
Honestly, I feel like this cast is so good. Every character I feel like I'm going to have a different dynamic with. I feel like Rose's character is very much like little sister to me eventually. Like, I'm definitely going to try to turn her into a degenerate as well.
Yeah, she was raised in a Christian cult, so she's going to be,
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
that's good fun.
which I love. And C-Dubs, which is Danielle's character, I feel like we might have some real
might go to
beef.
blows.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Where can they find more about you two, Zach and Bella?
Well, the show will be live every Monday night at 6 p.m. Pacific time on twitch.tv/FearHQ. We really think people should watch it live to be a part of that experience. It's made to be a live show. You're always going to be missing a little something if you do it later. So try to see it live. And you can just find me at hyper_RPG.
And that's starting Valentine's Day, correct?
Yeah, next
Okay.
Monday. Yep, 14th.
It's close.
7 days.
Exactly a week.
Oh boy.
And Bella, where can people find you?
I'm YellowSpoonGirl on everything. That's about it.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for sitting with me today. This has been a super great chat, and I'm really looking forward to checking out
Thank you so much.
the first
Yeah, thank
episode
you.
next week.
Yeah, thank you so much, Andrew. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, it was nice talking.
Thank you all for listening to this interview. If you want to check out the full thing, then you can head over to TechRaptor.net.